I got a gargle, dude. I got a gargle, dude. I got a gargle, bros. Bros, I got a gargle. Does this song ever end? I think this song just keeps going, dude. Ooh. Am I awake, dude? I don't even know. No. Oh my god, does this song go on forever? Oh fuck, maybe it does. Alright. This is what we call a smooth transition. There we go. Smooth transition to a pre-recorded stream. What's up, everybody? This is pre-recorded, just so you know. It's a pre-recorded stream. We have such important things to talk about. I pre-recorded it ahead of time. And this is the level mid-tier processing that you could look forward to in your future. Where's our stuff that goes at the front? Oh, let's put this up here. We'll move it north. We'll move it north. I forgot to move this, and hence the pre-recording, right? Oh, here we go. There we go. Yep. Up to the top. Up-a-doo. And then we go look at it. We're gonna get the other one. We're gonna get the other one. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, this is the pre-recording, by the way. Welcome to the pre-recorded stream for June 6-9er. Oh, my God, today's the 6-9er. Oh, my God, today's the big, strong 6-9er. Oh, my God, folks. Wait, how do we edit this? Do we double-click it? Do we right-click it? What the fuck do we do? Oh, no, we click it up here. Give me that. Give me that number. Yeah! There we go. Yeah, 6-9, baby! There we go. We'll make it super big. Make it super big. Super grande 69. That's today. That's today's date. What up, nerds? What up, fellow nerds? Are you doing some nerd shit? Are you doing some nerd shit, or are you celebrating 6-9? What is up? I would love to celebrate 6-9. What's up? Somebody come over. We're gonna celebrate 6-9. Who's coming over? Huh? Who are you? Total stranger danger. We'll get in the stranger danger 6-9 maneuver. It's Monday. How you doing? Hopefully you guys have a fantastic weekend. Had a weird-ass weekend. It was hot as shit. It was 95 degrees or whatever. I don't know. We had a unseasonably hot weekend. Because the previous days, the days previous were... hold on. We still haven't figured out what's going on. What's going on with this camera? Oh, that's why. Because that's right. Because I deleted. Excuse me. It's because I deleted the. I deleted the previous camera. Didn't I? I think I did during stream, right? And so we lost our settings. That's right. I forgot to fucks with this. Because we got to turn the brightness down a little bit. It helps keep the shiny, greasy forehead, the 5-head I got going now. I'm getting old. It's like I guess it's still a 4-head, right? I don't need a 5th finger, do I? I don't need a fifth finger to make a 5 head. I still got a 4 head. Fucking strong, dude. I'll fucking smash through a brick wall with this son of a bitch. Good to see you. I'm glad everybody's here. I'm making it as impossibly weird for every random new person to the stream, because that's how we do around here. How do you make this go up by 1? Oh, look at that. I could be all red. Oh, strong. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's all red. How does that look over here on the other stream? I don't know. It looks reasonable. Should I zoom it in? Let's see. Let's fucking zoom this bitch. Oh, yeah. We'll zoom it way in. There we go. Let's blur out the background and get hella big. So now we can go in here and we can... look at that. Look at my gray hair showing up now. God, I'm getting old. Getting old, bros. Sorry. Let's reset the cropping. How do we do that? Where is that? Width, height, left, right. The crop. Huh? Oh my God. Oh my God. How do we got to shrink it down. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now it's making sense. Here we go. I had to do the shrinky dink thing where it is shrinks it down. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see. And then we want to... How do we feel? Like right there? You guys will have to tell me in the chat. You guys will have to chat vigorously. Just get those chat fingers going. Get those going fucking strong, dude. Hey, that guy looks pretty good. I mean, I look pretty good for like 400 years old. I think I'm holding up. Got to drink enough human blood to stay alive, you know? That's my thing. But I'm turning gray because I've cut back. I've cut back on the human blood, as it were, you know? Being a high functioning vampire is tough because, you know, you get tan out in the sun. Anyhow, let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Witchy Cat, Frank Dominguez, D-Rocks, Just Skogs, Jay's Crazy Obsessions is here. What's up? Good to see you. Mickham, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. Oh my God, Lady Guinevere's here. Okay. Zip Gun's here. I don't know. I can't read all these names. This is too much. Did I forget Frank Dominguez? Frank Dominguez is there. He's here. He's here being strong. He's here being Strumpf. Mickham says, hey, pre-recorded Joel, can you tell me, please tell me what minute the vibrator ad is coming. I can tell you which minute the vibrator ad is coming because it's right now. Oh, shoot. I don't have the link for it. Nobody even bought any Astroglide last week. Okay, this week we're going to do an ad for Astroglide. Would you like one of the finest personal lubricants on the market? Get yourself a big old heaping bottle of Astroglide. You can click through our Amazon link here, and we get an Amazon affiliate credit. We basically get a credit for selling you whatever it is we sell you on Amazon. And by the way, Jay's Crazy Obsessions asked earlier, if you go through the Amazon portal, through the link to Amazon and then go buy some stuff, do we get the referral? Yes, we get the referral. That's how most of the bot advertisement things operate. So let's say you're tootling around and you think, hey, I want to see what's up with my boomer-ass grandparents. I want to see what they're doing, so I'm going to go onto Facebook and see what they're doing, right? And then you see something that looks interesting, and you click on it, okay? Once you click on it, that stores what is referred to as a cookie into the registry on your device that you're utilizing. Could be a cell phone, could be a tablet, could be a personal computer, could be whatever. Okay. It could be whatever. It could be anything in the world. Okay. And Once that cookie is stored in the registry in your device, when you go to buy something, who gets credit for it? It's whatever you clicked on last will get the credit for advertising to you something that motivated you to go buy something off of any website, basically. Amazon, most frequently used, and we are an Amazon affiliate here, so if I link something to you and you go and buy it, then bada boom, Bob's your uncle. We get like a 2% advertising commission is how this works. Lots of suspicious companies out there have gotten super rich from utilizing these services. I have acquired a whopping $3.85 last month, so watch out. Here we come. I'm taking over the stock market. It's coming in hot and fresh, and I'm going to take over the stock market with the $3. It's coming. Okay. Typically around here, we don't normally advertise lube, but I figure lube every once in a while needs to come up because we around here are advocates that the female orgasm is not a myth. It is a real thing. And in case you're out there being a lady that has never had one, here you go. You could go buy this vibrator on Amazon if you want and see if I'm a liar or not. Is that a rebirthing hand signal? No, that is the... that is this one right here. Hold on. Let me get the... right here. Oh, and it moved. And it moved.
He said the problem.
Hold on. It moved on us. We got to do with our do buttons and our computer stuff. I'm gonna cut off all this other crap.
Problem didn't lie with his small penis, but rather with your big vagina.
Is that what he did?
Yeah. Big.
This is my vagina?
Huge.
One of the funniest shows of all time is unfortunately coming to an end. We're on the last season. And the long-standing joke there is the huge vagina. Now, here's the deal. If anybody out there is wondering about the size of your vagina, stop wondering about it. It's not a problem. And by the way, if you're out there wondering about the size of your penis, stop wondering about it. It's also not a problem. Just remember that you're a couple Amazon clicks away from appeasing whatever person you want to appease sexually. If you need some help, realistically, nobody cares. Nobody cares if you needed anything to assist in finding out if the orgasms are real or not. Okay? No one cares. Let's be honest. Actually, to be clear, no one that gives a shit cares. Or no one that you should give a shit about cares. So, just have a good time. You know what I'm saying? You're only going to get one time on this earth. You might as well experience some physical pleasure. It's fine. No one's getting hurt. No one's getting harmed. It's all for adults. This fucking stream is age restricted anyhow. You got to lie to Google if you're under 18 to come watch my live stream anyhow. And I know that there are a bunch of Bible-thumbing prudes out there that like to send me emails and messages about how, their imaginary Lord and Savior, imaginary beard man flying in the sky is gonna come get me at some point, which factually incorrect and false. So I'm not worried about your imaginary beard man. Ordering a Corvus brand fleshlight in extra small. Yeah, there you go. Love the squish mitten and the joystick. Hell yeah. I would like to see the reaction of some analytic guy getting the stats and views of the vibrator and lubricant always occurring exactly this time every week. I don't think it's a drop in the bucket, so I don't think it necessarily would even affect the analytics guy. I don't think it would affect his analytics at all, to be honest with you. Feels like it's getting warm in here. What do I have it set to? Okay, 78. 78's too high. We're going down. We had to drop the temperature down, folks. But Jesus liked hookers. Yeah, I mean, if Jesus was a real guy, they wrote about how he liked hookers. Now, the question is like, was there a guy named Jesus 2,000 years ago? Sure. I mean, it's a name that people used. Was he the son of the beard man, all-powerful, whatever? No. I mean, it's just a guy. This year's Xmas gifts for everyone is now booked. I've been to a few white elephants that had the exact same presents that we linked on the stream today. I've seen people open the exact presents. By the way, one white elephant party I was at, I got what is called a rabbit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the women's toy called the rabbit. And this is probably, I don't know, it was probably 10 years ago, right? It was probably 10 years ago. So I think word on the street was probably not as prevalent, but either way, I got one. And you ever been to a white elephant party before? What's the white elephant where you give and you get to take one? White elephant where you get to take. There's a name for this. What is the name for that? In a white elephant gift exchange, you just don't take a present. You might also steal a present that someone else already has. Okay, so I guess it's just a white elephant. Each participant brings a wrapped gift, and players take turns either choosing a new wrapped gift or stealing an already unwrapped one from another player. If the gift is stolen, the person who had it must then choose a new gift. Now, here's what's funny. I got the all-inclusive rabbit. Like, I don't know, the top-tier one. Very, very fancy. And it was stolen from me by a very attractive lady. So I will say it was a hilarious moment. Because, I mean, realistically, I was just going to give it to my spouse, you know, and be like, I'm gonna just be hanging around, you know, for whenever you unbox this surprise, as it were. But a very attractive young lady took it from me, so I got to open a new present, and I do not remember what the replacement present was. But I do recall it was a very nice white elephant. People bought really nice presents, and it was a fun time. Everybody had a good time, and it was a sober party, so everybody had a great time. No need to worry about the imaginary guy in the sky. Now, the idiot in the White House is a different story. Yes, absolutely. And we'll get on to that. Actually, let's get a little introductory clip here. Let's get our little introductory clip here. Let's get our first little clip here. Captain Dipshit. So here's this is Joe Biden. He slipped on the stairs. Of course, we got pop-ups. That's so funny. This is entitled Donald Trump Stumbles on the Plane Stairs, and is a video of Joe Biden. I think that's Larry Fishburne. Oh, here we go. Here's Dingus Magoo. So, by the way, when they... Why does this have sound? We don't want sound. Trump's falling down, going upstairs, and when Biden was falling downstairs, is an absolute expose, right? He's too old. Shouldn't be president, but now, oops, I went to the wrong thing. I clicked the wrong thing. We got to replay it. There we go. But now that Trump's fallen downstairs, of course, we have to give him grace because he's the president, right? In which I've been saying this whole time that both of them are far too old to be president. Both of them. Joe Biden's way too old to be president. Donald Trump, way too old to be president. Let me tell you, like next time you're down at your job, let's say you're working at Chili's restaurant, and we need a new manager, and the new manager that comes in is 78 years old. Do you have confidence in the decisions that the 78-year-old Chili's manager is going to make? Let's up to Annie here a little bit. Let's say the guy who runs the entirety of the mall, right? You know the mall and all the stores. There's like a chancellor that runs the mall. Do you think that replacement guy should come in at 78 years old and take over that job? Let's raise the stakes here even a little bit more. Let's say you run the machine shop at Boeing, and the new manager for the machine shop at Boeing coming in at a blistering 78 years old to run the 9,000 workers at the machine shop at Boeing. Let's raise the stakes. Let's say you have the general of your the general in your battalion steps down, and you need a new general to step in, so they bring in a new 4-star general at 78 years old. Like, how confident are you feeling when a 78-year-old comes in to take over? Like, are we confident? We're probably confident that a 78-year-old like knows what's going on, just from the standpoint of having upwards of 58 years working experience, right? Maybe 60 years, depending on when they started. Let's say they have 60 years of experience, so they probably have some ideas of some things that are going on. Are we confident that a 78-year-old even knows what a drone is or how to fly a drone? Do they even know what a drone is? Because I'm going to tell you, from both sides of the aisle, I regularly watch the debates about whether or not TikTok should be outlawed in the United States. And there's a plethora of 75-year-old plus fucking congressmen, senators. There was even some governors in there who are completely confused as to what TikTok is at all, let alone now you're going to be creating a big law around it. Now, I don't have a TikTok account because I'm smart enough to know that I don't want a TikTok account. And the reasons for that is the total lack of anonymity of your information and preferences. Your information is not private on TikTok. You are not anonymized. One of the big issues I have with Facebook is that you are anonymized, but you're anonymized down to, I believe, a bucket of about 5,000 people. So realistically, you are still anonymous on Facebook, but it's really narrowed. But as far as TikTok goes, you are not anonymized. Your name, everything about you, all the operating systems you have, all that stuff, your name is attached to it. So I never even started a TikTok account. And that's my reason behind it, was that, hey man, if I can't have a reasonable level of privacy from the government of China. I don't know. I think we're good. You know, don't need to involve myself in that. But are we confident that these people that are close to 80 years old, they're about to turn 80 years old, are we confident that they even have like a good picture of what is going on, let alone the fact that they're beyond the average age of a U.S. American male life expectancy? Let's double check. I know it went down. Let's see. Yeah, in the United States, we had reached an all-time high of 81, and we are currently at 77, which has gone up from 76. The life expectancy of a man in the United States is 77 years old, right? We're beyond the life expectancy, and we are currently in an administration that spearheaded this drop. If you guys want to see what I'm talking about right here. There you go. United States right here. 1970, moving our way up to the 2000s, 2010. Here we go at 2010. We're at 78 years. We saw some climb here. 2019 right here. It just falls off a cliff to 76. Oh, I guess the all-time high in the States was 78.79. So by this expectancy in 2019, Donald Trump should be dead, right? Because he's 78. Wow. Because he's too old. So should Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden's should be dead. He's too old. Like they've gone past their life expectancy. No, there should be an age limit. Yes, there should be an age limit, like the retirement age, for instance, right? You really shouldn't. You really shouldn't be collecting Social Security and be able to be the president. You know what I'm saying? Like when you, I don't want to misquote myself here. Because I think you can start at 62 and you only get half of your benefits, right? You can start receiving your Social Security retirement benefits as early as 62. However, you are entitled to full benefits only when you reach your full retirement age. If you delay taking your benefits from your full retirement age up to age 70, your benefit amount will increase. So here it is. Here's the benefit scale. At 62 you get 70%. 63 you get 75. 65, 67. At 67 you get 100%. 66 you get 93. 65 you get 86. 67 is full retirement age. So set it at that. Sorry, if you're 67 years old, you can't be the president. Sorry. I feel like it's a pretty simple metric. Am I off mic? I mean, I can see that my voice is being registered. Hello. Yeah, you guys can still hear me. It's maybe not perfect, but it's a live stream. God damn it, Witchy Cat, what are you doing? I'm gonna open up the green room. I'm going in the green room. Go in. There we go. Go in the green room. What makes it so much worse was Rubio then faking a slip after Trump. Oh my God, I didn't even realize. Did Rubio fake a slip? I didn't even see that. Holy shit. Oh my God, I didn't even see this. Look at this. There we go. So here's Trump just not knowing what's going on, falling down. And then Marco Rubio. Oh, look, yeah, it's because this is slippery, motherfucker. Like, watching Marco Rubio like completely fall apart and sell himself out. Where we have to find the video.
To immigration. If reelected, Donald Trump has said he's willing to build migrant detention camps and deploy the U.S. military to deport the more than 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country. It would be the largest deportation operation in American history. Do you support that plan?
11 million. That's an outdated. That was the number 10 years ago. We're talking upwards of 20, 25, maybe 30 million.
Well,
There's been almost 10 million people that have entered this country unlawfully in the last 3 years.
To the question, would you support it?
The number varies big time. I mean, it's another 9 to 10 million people just in the last 3 years. The answer to your question is yes. We cannot absorb 25, 30 million people who entered this country illegally. They're here illegally. What country on earth would tolerate that? We don't even know who most of these people are. They talk about vetting them with what? They're coming from nations that don't even have document systems. We're here, Senate will be in session this weekend, including Super Bowl Sunday, which is fine by me, to deal with this bill that now is, as everyone knows, about Ukraine, funding for Ukraine, and its war effort, funding for Israel, funding for Taiwan, and some other matters. I'll dispense with the Israel and Taiwan funding because that's a pretty straightforward one that I think has very strong support here. I'm for it. I'm for both of that. I'm also for helping Ukraine against Russia. I do believe we have a national interest in helping Ukraine against Russia. I would just summarize it this way. If you look at China, which most people would agree is like the U.S.'s biggest adversary at this point for global influence, the Chinese are hoping one of two things is going to happen. The first is they're hoping we're going to get stuck in Ukraine, along with what's happening in the Middle East, and we're going to be drained by it. And we won't be able to focus on the Indo-Pacific. But if we do get engaged, then they hope that, but if we do become disengaged, then what their hope is, they'll go around telling people, you see, we told you America is unreliable and power in decline. And so I believe our goal when it comes to Ukraine is to be helpful to Ukraine in a way that doesn't drain us, in a way that doesn't harm our alliances around the world. I have my own personal views on this. I've shared it in the past.
Was that Witchy Cats in here?
For the confirmation over the last 24 hours, that where I think Ukraine eventually winds up is, I don't believe the Russians can ever achieve their initial objectives no matter what happens, which is to take all of Ukraine and all the way to Kyiv. I also think it's going to be very difficult.
There it is. Like, here's a perfect example of this guy. Just a couple years ago.
Objectives no matter what happens, which is to take all of Ukraine and all the way to Kyiv. I also think it's going to be very difficult for a country the size of Ukraine, no matter how much help it gets, to completely destroy the Russian Federation, who, no matter how bad they've been militarily, just have a size advantage. But I I do believe that at some point, both of these countries are going to try to figure a way out. And the question is, which one of the two is going to have the most leverage and the best deal possible? And will Ukraine be able to emerge from this as a democracy, as a
I know that
nation
in this
that is
speech
not
he talks
cigarettes?
about
Do you want people
immigration.
to smoke less? And we're incentive-based creatures. And when people know that if you can make it inside of the United States and turn yourself in, your chances of being released are 85, 90-something%. More people are going to come. The numbers don't lie. I don't have it with me. I tried to blow it up, couldn't print it on time. But there's a graph that shows, it looks like one of those things, those echocardiograms, except this one goes straight up. It basically says, here's the number in December 2019, January 2020, February of 2021. It just spikes right up. Why did it spike? It spiked because we told people, by the way, if you're a single adult, which was the biggest driver that really changed everything, if you're a single adult and you come into America illegally and you turn yourself in, we will interview you, maybe not even interview you, and we will release you into the country. People figure it out. And the way you solve it is to reverse that. The law didn't change. The immigration law today looks the same as it did in 2019. No immigration law has changed in America. What changed is this policy by executive order. Remember, we pass laws that has to be executed. Okay, so look what's happening with crime. It is illegal in every jurisdiction in America to shoplift. But the places where you see a spike in...
Right. So this guy on the Senate floor right here is saying this, right? Marco Rubio. Then I think it's this one. Let's see.
What are the chances you think that we're going to get an immigration bill of any kind through the House or the Senate this year?
Well, it depends what you mean by an immigration bill. I think we can
Exactly.
pass. I think we can pass bills that reform our legal immigration system, which is completely broken. I think there's an emerging consensus that we need to have an immigration system that is more based on economics and job skill and merit and less on family connection. Not totally discard family, but it has to be less of a factor. I think there has to be a consensus, and I think there is, that the enforcement mechanisms we have in place don't work. We don't have a viable entry-exit tracking system for visitors. There are sectors of the border that remain highly insecure, and we don't have an electronic system for employers to verify.
But am I missing the consensus part? I heard the Speaker of the House say there are things that everyone agrees on, but they don't trust the president.
No, on those issues, I think there's a consensus. Here's where the trust factor comes in. The third aspect of the problem, right? We have to modernize legal immigration. I don't think that's controversial. We have to have better enforcement mechanisms. That in and of itself is not controversial. And then the third question, which is the toughest. What do you do with 12 million human beings that are here now, who are illegally here in the country today? What do you do with them? So no one is advocating you round them up and deport them. Nobody real reasonable is advocating that. And no one is saying we should grant a blanket amnesty either. So what the emerging consensus has been is we understand we have to deal with that. We have to understand we have to create a system to somehow accommodate
So there he is.
people that
In just a couple of years, this was in 2015. So in just a couple of years, this guy has gone from, there's like 12 million people here, right? There's 12 million people here. No one is saying we should just round them up. No one is saying that. No one is saying that. What we need is a system where people can move in and out of the country, so people can come for work, or people could come for short-term stay or long-term stay or become a citizen. That's basically the shit he was talking about. A couple years goes by. All of a sudden, now we don't need a bill. We don't need a bill anymore. We need to simply have a policy by executive decision, right? Executive order is what we need. And we just need the executive order because the policy is the problem. He no longer wants legislation. He no longer wants our representatives to vote on actual law or any of that. Then he's advocating for executive order, right? Cue to now. Now they are just full steam ahead with we need to just violently deport 30 million people is what he was saying earlier, right? We can't afford to have these 30 million people here. Which once again, I'm always shocked. Like, I can never hear any like concrete numbers from these people, right? Like, first off, these are the same people that are constantly crying about the white replacement theory, and that people aren't having enough kids anymore. That women need to have a more traditional role of a stay-at-home wife, with just the man going off to work 15 hours a day, and the wife just staying home and having babies. And they want to completely disregard like any of the modernization that we have gone through. But I can never get a solid number from any of these people. How many people are supposed to be here? How many people are supposed to be in the United States? What is the number? 200 million, 300 million, 400 million, a billion? How many people? What is the number? Because right now they're claiming it's too much. Then what? Then give us a number of how many people are supposed to be in the United States then. And when the reality of them being unable to answer that question sets in from the standpoint of, well, I don't know. Okay, great. So you don't know. So how do you know that we have too many right now? If you don't know what the number is, you don't know we have too many. Oh, because the deficit's too high. Okay, well, are we taking in enough money to do the programs that we want to do, right? People want to claim that like liberals or Democrats or whatever just want to tax everybody to death because they just want to tax everybody to death. And that is factually not true. What is factually true is more often than not, the Democrats are founded in the idea that these are the programs that we value, and we want to fund these programs in order to see better outcomes from the entirety of the society that we have here, right? And by the way, you don't necessarily have input on who your neighbors are, right? Because we live in a free society. If somebody wants to move in next door, they move in next door. And the reason for that is that we have historical standing regarding all of that, right? And I've talked about it on my live stream many, many times about the FHA loans, the redlining around the United States, how many fucking insane racist people. I've talked to my 96-year-old grandmother on numerous occasions about one of the reasons that they moved from Utah to Idaho was because they moved to a town that had signs out front that said black people aren't allowed to move here, right? And let me see if I can find one for point of reference.
Sundown town.
Sundown towns mean you can't be outside if you're black at night.
Right.
Like here's a historical example. This one's out of California. I can continue to find more of these if need be, but here is a perfect example of American history right here. This is an image taken where people were proudly pointing at the sign. American history. That's the reason. It's another one of the reasons It's another one of the reasons, because we have historical reference of what it is like when you get to choose your own neighbors. It's like, if you want to understand like why there's a foundational belief that certain people have, and they might not be able to point to it exactly when you ask them, this is one of the reasons why, right? Is that we have a historical understanding of what it is like in the United States with all of these insane laws in place, right? And there's also a reason why the Trump administration is hearkening back to the 1800s to pull old laws off the books that are essentially irrelevant and were never removed, because most people of a basic, human nature realized that it wasn't necessary to take those off the books, because it would be insane for somebody to try and implement laws from like 1892, right? Mickham says, that's awesome. Would you cat? I got me a fondue evening with a fish tank leasing company during the Interzoo in 1994, if I remember correct. Most cheese and wine I've ever had eating in one night. Sorry, I just read that and I realized, like, we do have to comment on this comment. I don't know what I would do on a fondue evening like that. That would be tough, but I would probably fight my way through it. RFK Jr. just fired the entire independent CDC vaccine advisory committee. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that so I mean, the whole point here is that this is what was voted for. And I don't know how many times I've heard people over the last 3 weeks posting stuff that is like, this isn't what we voted for. And we are in full tilt. I told you so. Like, I just don't even understand how you vote for insane people and then they do insane stuff. And here's where we are. Robert Fauntleroy Kennedy Jr., whatever the fuck his full name is going to make the life expectancy go down, just like the last Trump administration. They're all for everyone dying and them surviving on their own, right? Like, it's beyond the pale. Like, we are at the point now, where RFK will go on. Hold on.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the nation's outbreak across.
Senator, if I advised you to swim in a lake that I knew there to be alligators in, wouldn't you want me to tell you there were alligators in it?
So are you recommending the measles vaccine or not?
What I've said and what I said in
Doesn't sound like you are. If that's,
Are you going to let me answer? Are you going to keep it?
Are you? Are you not?
Are you going to let me answer? I am not going to just tell people everything is safe and effective if I know that there's issues. I need to respect people's intelligence.
You're answering the question. I think you're
And
answering
the reason
the question. That's
that people,
really dangerous for the American public and for families.
But the evidence is clear. The measles vaccine is safe and highly effective. 3 people have died in the current outbreak, 2 of them children, all unvaccinated. The Republican chairman of the secretary in
Where is it when he says
full-blown placebo trial against an inert placebo was the COVID vaccine.
The secretary made the statement that no vaccines except for COVID have been evaluated against placebo. For the record, that's not true. Rotavirus, measles, and HPV vaccines have been, and some vaccines are tested against previous versions. So just for the record, to set that straight.
In another hearing, Kennedy pressed on if he would vaccinate his own children again.
Where's the quote?
So during those 2 students had been exposed to danger.
Found it before. Where's the quote where he says, "Don't take medical advice from
in
me"?
Trying to get to know you, there's some is on vaccines. You had a child.
Probably for measles. You know, what I would say is my opinions about vaccines are irrelevant. I've directed Jay Bhattacharya
Sure. No, like I said, I don't want to.
So that everybody can make that.
Okay. He's sitting here saying that like his opinions are irrelevant. I would agree with the fact that his
decision, but I don't want to.
Why do I have to get, what is the fuck is this? There. I would agree with his sentiment if he didn't have this piece of paper in front of him highlighting the fact that he's the head of Health and Human Services. Okay? I would understand that, like, you shouldn't listen to RFK. You shouldn't listen to this guy for your health. He's not a doctor. He hasn't researched anything in his entire life. He's written books filled with fucking bullshit in them. And he even says here, like, don't take my advice.
I'm being evasive.
Yeah.
But I don't think people should be taking advice, medical advice from me.
Right. No, I got that. And I'm not asking you to give them.
I could fully understand that you could be a person that says, I don't think anyone should take medical advice from me. Then step the fuck down from the head of Health and Human Services. Step down from the HHS and go do something else. Simple as fucking that. But this guy is out of his fucking mind. It's great that you have the opinion that no one should take medical advice from you. Then leave the profession in which you're supposed to give medical advice to people.
Right? For the love of God, take Dr. Oz with you.
What are you doing?
Oh, I said take Dr. Oz with you when you go.
Where am I going? I'm not taking Dr. Oz with me. Be clear. Who's taking Dr. Oz with him?
RFK Jr.
Ah, there you go. These absolute fucking clowns should not be in our administration. They should not be doing anything with our government.
Nope.
And you know, recently when I pointed this out to an acquaintance, that I was like, he has no medical experience. He has no expertise. He's out of his fucking mind, like TB says. He is out of his fucking mind. He's also out of his wheelhouse. Right?
Right.
I could fully understand that a guy who went to school for environmental protection shit could possibly be the head of the EPA or something at some point, and that at least have a foundational reason for being. You know what I mean? But this guy who has literally made millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars off being a fucking vaccine skeptic, being the head of the HHS, which recently their report that they posted, based on the information available, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has been actively involved in leveraging and addressing the implications of AI in the healthcare and Health and Human Services. And their recent strategic plan that they posted was created utilizing AI. Let me see, where is it? May 29th. Some of the citations that underpin the science in the White House's sweeping MAHA report appear to have been generated using artificial intelligence, resulting in numerous garbled scientific references and invented studies, AI experts said on Thursday. Of the 522 footnotes to scientific research in an initial version of the report sent to the Washington Post, at least 37 appear multiple times, according to a review of the report by the Post. Other citations include the wrong author and several studies cited by the existence of the health report do not exist at all, a fact first reported by the online news outlet Notice on Thursday morning. This is this is 10 days ago. And by the way, this should be top of the line. This should be top of the line news that the head of the HHS is
Gave a false report.
using ChatGPT to post and create these reports. The Maha report, Making Our Children Healthy Again, which addressed the root causes of Americans' lagging health outcomes, was written by a commission of cabinet officials and government scientific leaders. It was led by HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has a history of misstating science, and written in response to an executive order from President Trump. It blames exposure to environmental toxins, poor nutrition, and increased screen time for a decline in Americans' life expectancy, which, by the way, is absolute fucking retarded bullshit. This is what somebody who has a worm eating his brain. This is his words. He has a brain worm. He had a worm in his brain that ate parts of his brain, and then claims now, oh, well, it's dead. Don't worry about it. Right? I mean, Elizabeth Warren here has a really good point where she says, it's shameful that American parents even have to think about fake science and AI-generated studies in official White House reports on their kids' health. Yeah, I mean, like, that sums it up to me in a nutshell of... We're talking about the White House. Like, the White House and our administration has been overrun by fucking... social media fucking grifter healthcare freaks. Like, if only to be led to the point now where we have ICE invading LA. I don't even know. I mean, we're at a point now where it's like, I don't even know who I'm talking to anymore. You know, I'm going to be realistic here. I do this live stream. I don't even know who the fuck I'm talking to, because the mega people come on and they just start spouting about how, Trump is their new Jesus or whatever. And then they go on to TikTok, a week later to post something about how I didn't vote for this. And you did vote for this, and we fucking told you so. But here we are, right? Like, and I don't even know what is going to transpire now other than the riots will happen, the military will be brought in, and the military is going to start shooting at people. I mean, the current ICE officials, like, I don't know if you saw this earlier.
During the back and forth between...
Jesus Christ, why does everything have to be like an eyewitness? Okay, that's fucking loud as shit.
Bang. I don't know what that was, but I love that sound effect.
It's a good sound effect. I want to single it out.
A reporter was hit by a rubber bullet on live TV while covering the Los Angeles ICE protests. 9 News Australia's U.S. correspondent Lauren Tomasi was in the field as LAPD clashed with demonstrators in the downtown district amid outrage over immigration and customs enforcement raids throughout the city. The outlet shared footage of Tomasi describing the scene on camera
watch this,
when a rubber bullet appeared to strike her.
See? Right here. If you watch... Hold on, let me turn the sound off. Where the fuck? Oh, sound. Here we go. If you watch right here, she is talking, reporter on the scene, and this cop right behind her here just raises his rifle and shoots her.
Yep.
Clearly a reporter that's not even facing the police, not a threat, nothing. And this cop right here, who, by the way, is wearing a fucking face shield and shit, wearing a mask, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys remember all the cops that were quitting. Oh, you got to quit because they had to wear a mask during COVID. They all seem to be totally happy and content wearing masks now, right? Totally happy, totally content to be wearing a mask. They can breathe just fine. And if you watch this, he just raises his rifle and shoots her. Hold on.
Yep.
She's talking to the camera, and he just raises his rifle up and shoots her in the leg. She's there previous. There's nothing else going on. She doesn't make any sort of move towards them. It's clear that she's standing there holding a microphone, talking to a cameraman, not doing anything towards the police, and this cop just raises his rifle and shoots her. Simple as that. And these are the officers that we're dealing with right now who are supposedly in charge of who should be in this country, and who should legally be in this country, and who should legally not be in this country. Because, by the way, as far as I know, this is a fucking absolute crime. And by the way, this is a fucking felony, as far as I know, to just fire on somebody for no reason out in the street in a public area. You're just standing here. You're not. Is he under threat? Is he under threat of? Is he under threat of what? Is he in danger? Is his life is his life being threatened here? He's in full body armor. This lady is wearing a fucking blouse made out of like rayon or something. He's in full body armor. She's in a blouse holding a microphone. And as far as I know, if I was to do this action right here that this officer did, I would be in jail on felony charges. Right? So my first question here is what is this guy in jail right now? Has he been booked for just shooting a person in the street? They're like, oh, it's non-lethal. What? As far as I know, it's a felony to shoot a fucking paintball marker at somebody in the street.
Yep.
And that's a felony, which we should probably look that up. But my question is this guy going to face jail time? Is this guy going to get jail time for committing crimes? Because he's a criminal. You're right. By all standards, this guy is a criminal. This cop right here, whether he's ICE, whether he's LAPD, whether he's in the fucking Marine Corps, I don't give a fuck who this clown is. He just committed a felony, and this other cops do not give a shit about what's going on here. They don't care.
No, not even a little.
They don't give a fuck. They're like, oh, cool, shoot that reporter, because guess what? We're a part of the fucking fascist insanity, right? And by the way, these dipshit cops think that the current fascist regime is on their side, which, by the way, they are not. These police officers, these horses, they're all disposable. They'll all be thrown in the trash, just like the rest of us. Hold on, somebody's sending me a message. It's probably the cops from LA. I put all the stuff out for mushroom soup. Can you make it for us? We're having a point of contention here with my lovely spouse. We're having a point of contention here with my lovely spouse. They bought a giant, you know, the lion's manes mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
You know how big they are. They're bigly.
Yep, they're giantly.
They're huge. Well, apparently the girls bought one. They bought one, put it in the fridge, and then just kind of both told me that, like, hey, we would like to have lion's mane mushroom soup. Like, oh, that sounds great. You guys should whip it up. Let's go. Yeah.
We're not professional cooks around here.
And then they told me that it's going to go bad. It's going to go bad if somebody doesn't make it into soup. And then I was like, I'm not really sure who the somebody is that you keep speaking of. But at the very least, I mean, I made lunch and dinner yesterday, right? Whose turn is it?
I don't want to get in that fight.
Whose turn is it?
Totally your argument. I have not yet met your spouse, and I would like to not come in with points against me.
Whose turn is it?
Ours. Or hers. It's hers. It's not ours.
Yeah. Whose turn is it? I'm just saying, in a fair world where you're not allowed to shoot people in the leg in the street and see zero repercussion just because you have a badge because you went to fucking 2 weeks of police training school.
For a man who's been ranting about politics for months on end, to say any sentence starting with, in a fair world, seems somewhat off base.
I'm just saying in a fair world.
I know you are. That's what makes it silly.
I mean, there are other things that I could add to the contributing of like who's gonna vote. Wait, hold on. Here we go. I'll make it fair.
Uh-oh.
Where is there, we'll start that poll. We're starting a poll to make it fair. We're voting. You guys can anonymously vote if it's my turn or not.
Like that many caves?
What's that?
No. Just wondering aloud.
Uh-oh, Lady Guinevere says it's a bad poll. Decoback says, what about the gang of mounted police assaulting that man, the one the horses didn't want to trample? I'm just, there are a lot of incidents that are happening, and they're going to continue to happen, and we can go over all of them if you guys want. The bigger issue is that we're just going to sit here continually looking at clips the whole time.
I posted a link from U.S. Northern Command in the green room chat if you would like to see their comments on the now 700 soldiers being sent to LA to help the National Guard.
Yeah, Glenn Robinson has a really salient point here, is that plastic bullets has killed many a one in Northern Ireland, and plastic bullets have killed many people in the United States also. They're air quote non-lethal. I'm sorry, a bag hitting you at a bean bag hitting you in the head at 800 feet per second. Sure, technically non-lethal. Hits you in the head, you get cracked in the skull, you have a serious concussion, you trip, you fall, you hit your head on the curb. You've gotten 2 massive head injuries, you bleed out and die, right? Like, to claim that their non-lethality is only like 100% by the standpoint of like, well, if this hits you in the foot, if this hits you in the foot, you're not gonna die. You're like, okay, what happens when it hits you in the eye and you lose an eye, and your ocular cavity is crushed and you spend fucking 3 months in the hospital and 6 different surgeries on your face and you lose an eye and you don't ever get to have an eye back. Well, you didn't die, right? So it's okay, right? It's hard to hear your co-host. Oh, that's a Witchy Cat. So I don't know what Witchy Cat. Give me
I'll yell.
What?
I said I'll yell louder.
No. Hold on. I got to change your sound here. Hold on. I'll pump you up a little bit. There we go. Give me a check.
I've been pumped up. How exciting is that?
There you go. Getting pumped up, dude.
Baby.
Let me give you two clicks over here and a click this down. There we go. Yeah, you'll be better now. We always want to hear from Witchy Cat. I mean, the problem is that, like, one of the whole reasons that they're trying to do all of this outrageous shit is to obfuscate from the fact that they're trying to obfuscate from the fact that they're attempting to pass laws right now that will allow the executive branch to completely ignore the judicial branch. That is the name of the game right now. That is their plan. That is what they're up to, and 100% what they are trying to do is pass all of these laws with the tax breaks. They're trying to push through 1,500 pages of They even named this thing the Big Beautiful Bill.
I think Trump named it that, but...
No, I think it's actually named that. It's named One Big Beautiful Bill. They named it that. It's like, it's how ridiculous these people are. The bill extends the major provisions of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, including reduced tax rates for corporations and individuals. It also includes temporary changes like no taxes on overtime and a higher standard deduction, which fundamentally, how they're slipping this around is that, oh, we get a higher standard deduction. Then just pass a bill that is a higher standard deduction for the individual filers and the married filers, if that's what you're going to do. If you want to pass a bill to extend the tax cuts that you already did before, which, by the way, ballooned our deficit out of fucking control. If you guys forgotten that how much was it? How much did they add last time? $7 trillion, I think. Holy shit. The federal budget deficit reached an unprecedented $3 trillion in 2020. The total of his administration was $7 trillion. Unbelievable. Almost 8 trillion during his term. It's like 7.8 trillion added to the deficit. Unbelievable. And that's the last time when we had a booming economy. Everything was running at like full steam ahead, pedal to the metal. And it's just so few years ago, and people have completely fucking brainwiped themselves in regards to that. You know, and the first Tax and Jobs Cut Act, whatever the fuck. What did they call it? Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Okay, it's a fucking amazing names with these idiots. One of the big reasons that they're having to put that back into place is that they cut the taxes and then put a poison pill in there so that taxes would have to get raised in the future to cover the gigantic deficit that they rang up in the last Trump administration, which is close to $8 trillion. And like I said, that's when the economy was running at 100 miles an hour. I mean, there just has never been an economic situation that was better than when Trump took office. Since Trump took office, house prices have gone into the multiple of 2.5 times. So a $200,000 house is now $460,000. Holy shit! The median sale price in the United States for a house now is $407,000.
Sorry.
Here we go. So, when Trump took office, the median home price let's go 10 years so I can actually see this. Trump took office, the median home price was $339,000. And they ballooned it up to $496,000. Holy shit. The actual average sale price of houses sold in the United States is currently $503,800.
Oh, great. It gets worse. Lovely.
Ugh. That's actual prices, brought to you by the Federal Reserve Bank. Not seasonally adjusted, not adjusted for anything, built on a quarterly graph. This is the average sale price of houses. This is the actual, just averaging the sale price. The average sale price right now is $503,000 in the United States.
Yes. You know, it's not something that we don't know, you know, as just part of the, okay, yeah, houses are too expensive. But to hear the numbers laid out is so depressing. You know, it's just.
I mean, it's
okay.
the crazy thing is that to go from, so you go from like Q3 of 2016 where it was at 303,000, and now,
Right.
This is just the median price is actually 416,000. That's the median price, but the other graph I was looking at is the actual sale price, because the median price is sort of like it's listing all of the.
The Midwest as well as Seattle.
No, it's listing the median pricing, right? And so it's like all of those units that haven't sold, like they're just sitting there, and that's changing the median pricing.
Still more than I'll ever have.
Totally
again.
depends on where the house is located. Yes, I am well acquainted with that. The area I live in, the median price is $640,000. Is the median price in the area where I live. I'm well acquainted with it. I live on the West Coast. I live like way north of Seattle, to give you an idea, in Washington. Way, way north. If you think you're north enough, just keep going north. That's where my house is. I'm almost in Canada. I'm close to Canada. It would not take long for me to drive to Canada. Yeah, and this is when the first Trump administration, like these are the effects of this bill, and the bills that they pushed through in the first administration. This is the type of shit that you'll see. This is only going to get worse. None of this shit is going to fix any of these current problems. All it is going to do is exacerbate the current problems that we have. They're going to increase the debt. They're increasing the debt for an extra $150 billion for defense spending, in which I've heard multiple arguments, listening to the House representatives that were arguing for this increase, $150 billion. They're talking about how we need $150 billion worth of drones because drones are the new thing. So you go, okay, I guess there's a new technology that we need to invest in warfare, essentially, right? Okay, cool. Which are the ones that you're going to eliminate that are now no longer needed? So do the Doge thing that you claimed you were going to do and cut the programs that we don't need anymore and get the $150 billion from that. Like if you don't need motorcycles in the Navy, right? Cut the motorcycles out of the Navy and get the money that way. I am 45 years old. The the money, or the country that I live in, the United States of America, has been spending all of our money on national defense. I want to see what the number is. Donkey lovin'. I don't know why you keep posting. I don't know why you keep posting donkey loving in the chat.
Yeah. An eye for an eye for an Eeyore.
Well, I guess you guys all voted. You guys all voted against me. All right.
I did not. Nobody loves the joy.
Oh, only 6 people voted in the poll, but you all voted against me. All right. I see you guys throwing me right under the bus. Got it. I'll remember, and you'll rue the day for throwing me under the bus.
See? More Winnie the Pooh reference.
Yeah, look at this. 5.7% of GDP was spent on defense. And guess who increased it again after it was decreased? It declined to 4.2%. And then we're raising back up again. And we're raising it again.
And Mr. Plump came back.
In 2023, it was roughly 13.3% of the total federal budget. Oh, and then here we go right here. In 2024, interest payments on the national debt, $881 billion, surpassed the domestic. Sorry, this is the base military spending. So we're actually paying more now on the national debt than we are for the military. Holy crap, the Ukrainians have been devastating with their drones. A lot of our weapon systems just went obsolete. Yeah, I mean, to a degree. Like, okay, so I guess to comment on what the Ukrainians have been doing, the drone warfare has accelerated rapidly, but that's because drones accelerated rapidly. I mean, I've been flying drones for the last, I don't know, 10 years, just as a hobby kind of thing. I'm not a professional pilot or anything like that. But, you know, when he started flying drones and we got access to flying drones on a civilian level, I mean, you talk about like the leaps and bounds that DJI has made in their drones. Like their first drone that came out, I was trying to remember which one was their first one that was actually accessible. So it's like the Mavic series, like the Mavic series, the Pro, the Phantom 3, the Phantom 4. I mean, go watch old Casey Neistat videos from like what, 2013 or whatever. Like it was crazy that Casey Neistat had a drone, right? And was flying them around in New York City and shit, right? Nowadays, like any dipshit can get a drone, hook their phone up to it, hook it up, and be flying it in, I don't know, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. it really takes no time to learn how to fly a drone now. And a lot of that just has to do with the actual development of the technology. And then you take that technology and then you add things to it, like an explosive device, right? And if you remember, like, the Ukrainians started out just dropping grenades from the drone. Like, they basically just rigged up a handheld explosive to the bottom of a drone with a quick release on it, and they were flying over anything that had a, if you had a tank with the top hatch open, and they would just drop it in there, and they basically what they were doing was just flying the explosive, and then they realized, like, wait, can't you just build the drone around the explosive? And they're like, oh. So, yeah, I mean, the drone is just disposable. You just fly the drone straight into somebody and it explodes. And the reality of that is that, like, from the standpoint of you have let's say, like, a $300 platform. The drone itself is, like, probably $300. The controller's realistically the more expensive part. And you don't lose the controller, you get to keep the controller. And then you go, well, how much is the explosive? Like, let's just say that's another $150 or something like that. I mean, you're talking about $500
versus a missile
set
up on a ship.
No. Missile's a completely different system. But let's say that yeah, so here you go. Like, so the low end on a mortar, right? And if you guys are familiar with what a mortar is, hold on, let me get it.
Shoot him out the big gun.
Okay. Here's what a mortar is. This is what a mortar is, guys. You drop that in there. Boom. Goes up. They're not going to show it land anywhere. Are they? Show it land. Okay. So these mortar rounds here are going to range in price from... they're going to range in price from $2,000 all the way up to $30,000, depending on their capability. That's what a mortar is. Now, if you think about your drones costing $500 to manufacture, and they do that in a much more accurate way, and you really only need one operator. As you can see there's a guy holding the camera. There's a guy who has to carry the launcher, set the launcher up. They have to see what's going on. They have the guy who's holding the launcher. They have the guy that's loading the launcher. They have the guy that's giving it to him. They have the trucks that are there. They have to bring everything in. There's a lot that goes into even just setting off mortars, which mortars are pretty much the most simple military deployment of, like, we're going to put a bomb over there, right? Like, we're going to bomb, we're going to send some artillery over to those guys. You got to think this is the modern version of the pirate ship cannon, right? You just go over there, you get close to it, you shoot a thing at them, right? Now, from the standpoint of the Ukrainians, that they're going like, wait, well, we have human-guided mortar rounds that are going to blow up exactly where we want them to blow up because you just watch it and guide it in. This is just economically a smart move because you're talking about, like, what, $500? And by the way, if somebody shoots the drone down, who cares, right? It's $500. Like, oops, it failed. Still would probably explode. It probably would have some kind of trigger on it so that it would explode once it, like, was damaged and crashed to the ground, right? So unless you somehow manage to disable both systems by shooting it out of the air, and then then the next step is that they figured out that, like, oh shit, they're jamming our signal to be able to control our drones. And since then, they've done the fly-by-wire shit. So they have a fiber optic that hold on, let me see if yeah, the birds are making the funnier part to this is that the birds are making birds' nests out of the fiber optic. Let me see if I can't find. If I can't find an image. Yeah, so they've got this. So they've got this hanging off the back of their drones now. And this is essentially like a control wire, right? So because they were jamming the signals, the radio signals are going back and forth to control, they're sending them out with this wire hanging out the back that controls the drone. And now they've got these wires laying everywhere. There are some pictures. Yeah, you can start to see like the wire, the fiber optic cable is laying everywhere. Where's a good? They probably should have it in here. A picture of. I forget what they're calling it. I think they're calling it the spider web something something. We'll have to see if we can't find what they're calling that. I forget what it is.
Spider.
What's that?
Operation Spiderweb, according to Dan.
Typing spiderweb is a weird. That's a weird move. No, Operation Spiderweb is the actual operation where they went and blew up a bunch of Russian planes. But I mean, more to like what I was just talking about is that they have spider webs. They're essentially called. They have a name for it. All the spider webs that are all over the place of the fiber optic. Hold on.
Connectors.
Let me see if I can't find an image of it. Well, yeah, because I mean they're calling it Operation Spiderweb. Operation Spiderweb is the one where they drove the trucks out there, the tops of the trucks popped off, and a bunch of drones flew out and blew up all the planes. Blew up all these. You know, they blew up the third leg of Russia's nuclear capability. Is essentially what it is, right? I think you know. Hold on a minute.
All right. Reading.
Hold on. Sorry, this is funny.
I assumed so when you started laughing randomly.
Well, I'm going to play it, and then you're either going to laugh or you're going to feel real sad.
Aw. Aw.
Where is it? Oh, is this it? Unable to load video. Fuck.
Guess we're all going to feel really sad. Damn it.
Where is it? Oh my God, does CNN own the rights to it? They do. Oh, it's because I don't have ads turned on. Let's see if we can't find it. Oh, we have to watch it on the Majority Report, apparently. Where is it? There we go. We had to find it. But by the way, this is so funny.
Dr. Carson just referenced the single most important job of the president, the command, the control, and the care of our nuclear forces. And he mentioned the triad. The B-52s are older than I am. The missiles are old. The submarines are aging out. It's an executive order. It's a commander-in-chief decision. What's your priority among our nuclear triad?
Well, first of all, I think we need somebody absolutely that we can trust, who's totally responsible, who really knows what he or she is doing. That is so powerful and so important. And one of the things that I'm frankly most proud of is that in 2003, 2004, I was totally against going into Iraq because you're going to destabilize the Middle East. I called it very strongly, and it was very important. But we have to be extremely vigilant and extremely careful when it comes to nuclear. Nuclear changes the whole ballgame. Frankly, I would have said, get out of Syria, get out. If we didn't have the power of weaponry today, the power is so massive that we can't just leave areas that 50 years ago or 75 years ago, we wouldn't care. It was hand-to-hand combat. The biggest problem this world has today is not President Obama with global warming, which is inconceivable. This is what he's saying. The biggest problem we have today is nuclear proliferation, and having some maniac, having some madman go out and get a nuclear weapon. That's, in my opinion, that is the single biggest problem that our country faces.
Of the three legs of the triad, though, do you have a priority? Because I want to go to Senator Rubio after that.
I think to me, nuclear is just the power, the devastation is very important to me.
Oh my God, this is the fucking idiot piece of shit that you all fucking elected. This abject fucking moron, fucking fat rapist piece of shit is the guy you elected that doesn't know what the nuclear triad is.
Yeah, no, not even a clue.
And like, look, I get it. I'm a dumb lib cuck, whatever. I know that the nuclear triad is air, surface, water. The nuclear triad is the deployment of our nuclear weapons and the ability to deploy them, right? Like, you have submarines that shoot them out of water. You have airplanes that shoot them out of planes. You have fucking ICBMs that shoot them off of the ground, okay? And supposedly that was some kind of coherent response from that absolutely unqualified fucking moron, silver spoon born, right up his ass, New York fucking grifter, mobster piece of shit, right? Doesn't even know what the nuclear triad is. Asked a basic question where they even included the B-52s are quite old, right? What do you think we should do to modernize our nuclear triad? Well, you know, nuclear is really dangerous. Harnessing the power is really it's really dangerous. Like, and y'all fucking voted for this piece of shit twice is unfucking fathomable to me. That you would somehow think that tub of goo is fucking qualified to run the United States of America from the executive position, right? And all he has done is hired neo-Nazis and fucking brainworm victims. And here we are. They're sending in a fucking Marine Corps. I don't know what soldiers they're sending in, but they claimed that they were going to send in the Marine Corps if the National Guard wasn't able to get it together. And
go to the chat. You'll
pardon
see
me?
the announcement.
What?
Go to the green room chat. Go to the green room chat, and you'll see the North Command comment about it, about the Marine.
Oh, you got RFK says people should not take medical advice from him.
Yes, but above it.
I don't know how to read. Get the fuck out of here. U.S. Northcom statement on additional military personnel in the Los Angeles area. Oh my God, they're sending in the Space Force. Peterson Space Force Base, Colorado, U.S. Northern Command has activated the Marine Infantry Battalion that was placed in an alert status over the weekend. Approximately 700 Marines with 2nd Battalion. This is what I was saying. I already was saying that they were sending in the Marines if the National Guard can't get it together, which they can't. I mean, one of the things that people need to understand is that we're militarizing all of our public services, essentially, right? Like when it comes to all of our public servants, we're giving them machine guns, body armor, covering their faces. They don't have to follow any laws or rules or regulations anymore. They can apparently just shoot fucking reporters from Australia indiscriminately, like if they just feel like it, and doesn't seem to be any repercussions at all. And they're going to escalate violence. They're going to continue to escalate violence until the violence gets so far out of control that there will be a war. I told you guys 6 months ago, this is what they wanted. This is what they want. This is what they were going to do. They were going to do insane shit until they can start just executing Americans in the street. It's what they want to do. And people are like, you're crazy for saying that. And I'm like, this is what they have wanted to do, is wage war against Americans. You don't wander around for year after year after year with this rhetoric of wanting a civil war. You go watch Tim Pool. He's going to tell you about civil war again today, how much they want to start a civil war. Well, he lives in his compound in fucking West Virginia or wherever the fuck he lives. They've been talking about this for decades now. And as a matter of fact, they've been talking about this shit since the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and the 50s. They have wanted to do this. They have had a bloodlust and want to start another civil war where they think that they are going to come out on top. And what I need you all to fundamentally think about is, where's that guy? Let me see here if I can find it. I won't be able to find it. I won't be able to find it while we're live here. But basically, there's a video from a January 6th guy that was basically claiming that all of these rioters in LA should be executed. And he's one of the guys who raided the Capitol on January 6th. And you're like, I don't understand the level of hypocrisy that these people have. But it is beyond the pale. In college, I had a Chinese roommate who could make the most beautiful consomme soup out of lightly frying sliced white button mushrooms, then slowly adding in water while stirring. So yummy. Yep, I've made consomme a million times. Operation Spiderweb is giving the Air Force officers around the world nightmares. They used a sea drone to take out a jet twice. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. They made budget cruise missile by putting it by putting a jet engine on it. Yeah. Zipgun says it's a whole new world, but I would argue that it is a whole new world because it already was a whole new world. No one was using it yet. You know, it's like they weren't utilizing the technology yet because we've been avoiding war for so fucking long. And I honestly think that like most Americans do not recognize that we have lived in a time of essentially overall peace for such a long time. And I know that like most Americans are not ready to deal with wartime world. Personally, like I don't want to. I don't want to be ready. I don't want to have to be at war with the guy down the street that has all of the MAGA shit with the super Rambo looking Donald Trump flag. Like I have a guy down the street that has this shit. He has the MAGA go fuck your feelings.
Yeah, with the all black.
He has a MAGA "Go fuck your feelings," and he has this. He has a giant version of this up in his front yard. Because apparently Donald Trump is Rambo, and apparently this is how you make America great again. An attack chopper. What I can't really tell is like, what is this gun? I can't tell what this gun is. It's like, it's a chain-driven machine gun of some kind, and then it's got a RPG launcher on the front of it. I'm not 100% sure what gun this is. He's got a big one of these in his front yard. And what else does he have? He has he has Trump go fuck your feelings or whatever.
Is he the one with the all black American flag?
Nope, different guy. Multiple guys in my neighborhood.
Lucky you. I don't.
There's a guy. Oh, there's a different guy down the street that has this flag. I think Witchy Cat is probably the only person that knows what this flag is. Do you know this flag?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I've got to wait for it to show up. Remember, YouTube is slower than Scene Room.
Oh, that's true. You're behind me. I wonder if anybody in the chat knows what flag that is. I'm going to get rid of it because I'm not an advocate of it.
Is it the green tree on the white background?
Nope. It's the Oh, here we go.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that one. And by the way, if anybody was wondering, like here's all the flags that if you see these in someone's front yard, you can know that this person's opinion is garbage. Is a trash person lives here. If you see any of these flags, if you see any of those flags in somebody's front yard, they're pretty problematic, is what I would say.
Wild understatement.
'Tis a wild understatement of the century, of the week.
So what do you think of the IDF stealing Greta Thunberg and her crew?
Have they been absconded with? Is that what's going on?
They got stopped on their way to Gaza, the whole fleet, and basically kidnapped to Israel.
Yeah, I mean, here's the problem is that, like, Israel said if you bring your ships over here and try to fuck with our blockade, we're going to capture you. You know, and, like, there's a certain part of me that, like, admires what they were doing.
Right.
But there's also another part of me that is like, hey, you know, you're directly in confrontation with them, and by the standards that they've set is that, like, we're bombing anybody, we're shooting anybody, we're doing whatever the fuck we want, and I don't know. You put yourself in harm's way like that, and then something happens. I mean, I don't advocate for them being kidnapped like that or anything, but you know, that's what they said was going to happen, you know, so I don't know.
She and her buddies were obviously trying to count on their own celebrity to protect them, but never really been Israel's big, you know.
Greta Thunberg and friends on intercepted selfie yacht will be forced to watch video of the horrors of October 7th, Israel says. Greta Thunberg and her posse of international activists will be forced to watch footage of the October 7th terror attack after Israeli forces intercepted their Gaza-bound selfie yacht, Israel's defense minister revealed on Monday. Israel Defense Forces captured and boarded the Madeleine, operated by the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, after the Swedish activists and the others on board tried to break the naval blockade of the Gaza Strip just hours after Israeli officials demanded they call off the stunt. It's appropriate that the anti-Semitic Greta and her fellow Hamas supporters see exactly who the Hamas terrorist organization they came to support and for whom they work is, what atrocities they committed against women, the elderly, and children, and against whom Israel is fighting to defend itself. I mean, from a standpoint of here's my standpoint, right? Is that, like, I fully understand that your country was attacked, right? And there should be repercussions if somebody attacks your country. Like, simple as that. Like, if somebody attacks my house and I attack them back, like, that's, you know, that's how the world works. But the October 7th attack was 12, 18, 19, 20 months ago. Like, at what point in time are you attacking the force that had attacked you, and at what point have you attacked them back and, like, stopped them from attacking you, right? Like, I understand, like, you get attacked, you attack back, like, that's how this goes. You know, and also, like, I grew up in America where they constantly said, like, we don't negotiate with terrorists, right? Because if people take hostages and then you negotiate with them, it just encourages them to take hostages later. So I understand, like, using lethal force to fight back against lethal force, right? But, like, after 20 months of just nonstop, like, bombing the fuck out of them, like, at what point have you accomplished the task, unless your task is to just wipe them off the map, right? Like, which seems to be what their plan is at this point, right? Like, Netanyahu's out of his fucking mind, and at any point in time when you say, well, Israel is fucking full of shit, stop bombing these fucking people, like,
right,
you know, it's like, oh, you're anti-Semitic, and it's like, motherfucker, like, I don't give a shit what imaginary god you pray to. I don't care about whatever bearded man, spaghetti monster, Odin. I don't give a fuck what bearded dude or Vishnu. I don't fucking care what you fucking pray to. I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't have any problem with Jews. I don't have any problem with fucking Muslims. I don't have any problems with Israelis or fucking Palestinians. I have no problem with any of these fucking people. I have no problem with Russians. I have no problem with fucking Ukrainians. I have no problem with Chinese. I have no problem with people from Thailand. I don't give a fuck. I don't have any racist inclinations other than, like, the occasional joke that's a stereotypical joke, right? Like a Polish and a Jew walk into a bar or whatever the fuck, right? And I guess if that makes me, like, super anti-Semitic and racist or whatever because there's old fucking jokes and shit that are just goofy, then I guess I'm, like, a huge, gigantic racist or whatever, but I'm not. And when you're talking about like the Israeli government just bombing the shit out of people that are next door to them, they've been invading each other and shooting each other and killing each other for what? 150 years, 2,000 years, however the fuck long it is. I think from an American standpoint, stop giving Israel money. Stop giving them weapons. Like, just go, hey, we're going to stop giving you weapons until you figure out how to do this humanitarian in a humanitarian fashion. Like, go over there and get all the people and figure out what the fuck is going on. Because, like, just dropping bombs on apartment buildings and shit is insane. And although, here's the problem, is that they learned it from the United States, right? We talked about this. We talked about the Signal chat, where our fucking, our vice president and our head of the DOD and whatnot are sitting here talking about, where is it?
How tired they are of Europe.
Pardon me?
How tired they are of Europe and its demands and needing to bomb Yemen.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Or, I mean, I'm talking about bombing Yemen, but, yeah, here it is. Mike Waltz. Building collapsed, had multiple positive ID. Pete Carilla, the IC, amazing job. They bombed an apartment building that had somebody in it that they thought there was a terrorist in there. Like, never mind all the other people, but I'm just saying that, like, I'm trying to find the actual page.
That was the one where they said, oh, and his girlfriend may have been in there. We didn't see her out.
Weather is favorable, just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are go from mission. We need to see the. I mean, I was trying to use this as my as my point, just illustrating that the United States government has been like fucking bombing apartment buildings forever. Because it's like someone goes in there and we just blow up the building and then go, oh, well, we got the terrorist. And it's like, well, who else died? Well, who cares? We don't know their name. It doesn't matter. Let's just make sure the messaging is tight here. And if there are things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it. I mean, it's just like I'm telling you, these are the fucking ghouls. This is how they talk. We should make sure to minimize the risk to Saudi oil facilities, right? Yeah, I can't find the actual page where they talked about bombing the apartment building. Hold on.
Their first target, the top missile guy, we had a positive ID on him walking into his girlfriend's building, and now it's collapsed, Walt said. That was from the chat. J.D. Vance responds, excellent. Ratcliffe says, a good start. And that's when Walt sends the U.S. flag and flame emojis.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like, and I'm saying that, like, if we're talking about in context with the Israeli government, it's like, where did they learn this from? You know what I mean? It's like, what country are you most closely related with that you're getting insane amounts of funding from, insane amounts of military backing from, and like, this is the context of like how these clowns speak about people dying. Like, this is how they talk about it. Oh, I'm typing too fast. Their first target, their top missile guy, We had positive idea of him walking into his girlfriend's building, and now it's collapsed. And, like, you can't even remotely verify to me that there wasn't anybody else in that building, you know? And it's, but, like, when you say lead by example, it's like this is the example we are leading by as a country, like the United States, right?
Yep.
It's an M60, but for some reason it has an RPG round crammed into the barrel. Yeah, I've never understood that. I've never understood that Rambo gun with the RPG just sticking into the barrel. I don't understand. Is there a gun that actually has that? I've never seen an actual gun do that. Fetishize the idea of civil war, and the tech bros have some fever dream about them becoming the new oligarch rulers of America and ending democracy. Yeah, I mean, their plan is to end democracy. That's the bigger problem. Hey, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Who are you barking at? Who are you barking at? Are you coming inside? Come on. Come on. Up.
Doggy town.
Why are you so worried? Why are you so worried? Come on. Oh, are you down low? Come on. Up. Big girl. Who's your big girl? Oh. Hey, my big girl. Who you barking at? Who you barking at? You want to come inside? Little dog. Little dog was going crazy. This is little dog. This is Lucy dog. Oh, Lucy dog. Little Lucy dog. We're going to have some dogging here at the end. We have some dogging. I have some dog here at the very end of the show because it's 4 o'clock. Anyhow, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. We didn't have any super chats. So no shout outs for super chats, you guys, because nobody super chatted. You want to go down there? Are you coming up? Come on. Ha! There you go. Anyhow, this is a fucking disaster, and hope to see you next week, but who knows? I don't know. I'll probably be executed fairly soon.